Welcome back, everybody. Glaziar Gambol podcast, boys season finale. It's our final boys episode until Gen V season 2 comes out, I'm sure. And the finale just happened. If you watched our finale preview video, we got some comments on it. Thank you all for the people that did comment on it. I tried to reply to everybody. There was a couple, so I think I got them all. And yeah, the finale happened, and it was a setup more for the final season more than it was felt like a finale for this season. But I still think that's kind of the trend of most shows nowadays, where the cliffhanger is meant for you to anticipate, not really feeling a good mood at the end. It's kind of, I mean, everything from the Umbrella Academy, Game of Thrones, The Boys, most of
Walking
the
Dead.
Walking Dead. It's
Yeah.
You're not. People nowadays don't want to feel happy at the end. They want to feel terrible so that they can watch the next season and hopefully.
I am a 150% supporter of cliffhangers. Ever since season 5 of The Walking Dead, the prior to the Negan reveal.
Oh, sure.
Or the Negan reveal itself. Everyone hated that it was a cliffhanger. But the whole summer before Walking Dead came back, that is all anybody talked about. There were breakdown videos.
I think you can do a cliffhanger without being super negative, though.
Sure.
Like, you can still have some happiness, like without.
Right.
Cliffhanger doesn't necessarily
certain shows, The Walking Dead, in that moment there wasn't really any chance for positivity in general, but
they had some chance for positivity here at the end of The Boys, but you know, they had you were feeling good for a moment and then you were feeling like okay. Nothing really felt good, and then instead of trying to like make you feel a little better, they just made you feel way worse.
Right.
But for those of you, especially those that have watched the last couple episodes from us about The Boys, one thing that I have asked for is Kimiko needs to be able to talk.
Yeah, you get that.
Kimiko, spoiler alert,
moment too,
she spoke. She said 2 words, the same, or like 3 words, but the same word.
Right.
It just happened to be, screaming in terror because she was being held by, like, in my opinion, I'm assuming a top 5 strongest superhero in this universe.
Yeah. Well, he hasn't even reached his prime yet, too, so you don't even know what Sam can do.
Yeah, really. I'm scared of Sam.
Yeah.
I'm so scared. I'm way more scared of Sam than I am of Homelander.
Right.
Terrifies the hell out of me. Like, there's something about it. It's not even like the mental aspect of it where he's got like
Sam has a more mentally mental than Homelander does.
Yeah, and even like he just seems like he might not be able to fly, but I feel like he would be able to break Homelander's neck.
Yeah.
He feels so scary. And of course, bitch Kate showed back up. I hate it so much.
Yeah.
But yeah, and she took Frenchie away from us after Kimiko and him were finally finding some happiness.
Right.
I was so mad. I was so happy. I was so happy. I paused the video while they were kissing to show my wife, and I said, "These are my favorite characters in the show, and they're finally happy." And then,
I think it's absolutely hilarious too that got captured by Love Sausage. Like after what he's gone through with Love Sausage in the past, for him to be the one that gets him too is just like comical at that point.
Speaking of Love Sausage, a little tangent here. How awful would that circumcision be for him?
Oh yeah, it would be brutal. That's probably why they didn't do it though.
Like you wouldn't be able to use traditional medical tools. Like you're running.
No, it'd probably chainsaw,
chef's knife.
Yeah, butcher blade. Yeah, for sure.
Oh my god. So just side note that fucking thing looks like a mega eel. But, oh my god.
I don't know.
So basically, for those that
talk about the end before the beginning, it's
yeah. I mean, that's kind of what happens with finales. It's like we said, it's more of a setup for the next final, like what's next. It felt way more like a preview, like what is it? It felt like a prologue more than it felt like an epilogue. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So because of that, we will start with that end. Everybody is so Newman's dead.
Newman's dead.
Killed by, of all people, Butcher.
V'd up Butcher. Even if I don't nearly know if it's if he did inject V or if that is just what the V'd up tumor.
I'm pretty sure he said earlier this season that he took V thinking it might help him slow the.
Oh, sure. So that thing is definitely.
But it's like, and it's not really Butcher. It's Jeffrey Dean Morgan,
right,
the manifestation of the tumor inside of him, just like we saw with the rabbit, that creature.
Right.
That manifestation is the virus, and he's just a host now.
Sure.
Like Butcher's pretty much just dead.
Yeah, I wonder if it's like that's what like overdosing on V is, like overdosing but surviving on V, whereas the
caused
rabbit
by things like temp V.
Right. Yeah. So
so Newman dead, ripped in half by Butcher. Daughter is at Red River.
Yeah. Which Marie was where Marie stayed, where Newman stayed when they were younger. But so that could tie into Gen V. I mean, they showed that for
Stan
a reason.
Edgar's still alive, so he could find her there as well.
Right. And that they showed that for a reason. They wanted you to see that she's going to Red River, adoption agency, whatever it is, home for the.
And then
suits.
Butcher was driving by himself.
Right.
Huey and Starlight were captured by the metal bending.
Starlight was not.
Well, not hold on. They were captured, but then Starlight got her powers. Like she was able to use her powers again and flew away.
She leveled up too, because she's like, oh, I can only fly for like 30-45 seconds, whereas what she figured out prior, that's how she like dropped down for first firecracker, and she was straight up like Superman, like bursts.
Yeah, she bursted up and sideways, like she was straight up bursted.
Yeah, so she leveled up there.
But Huey's still captured.
Right, Huey was captured.
Homelander is now basically a military leader because Singer was arrested, and the Speaker of the House enacted martial law and put superheroes in power, which is why all these superheroes are the ones capturing,
deputizing superheroes. Yeah.
Right. And then MM, like you said, captured by Love Sausage.
Yeah.
Kimiko and Frenchie were captured by Sam and Kate.
Right.
I hate Kate so much.
It's funny because you don't hate Sam. It's like because like Sam had a good arc, but then it was because of Kate's like manipulation too.
Yeah. Yep. The manipulation of the characters I liked as well. And the fact that like it seems like pure evil, where Sam feels like he's been brainwashed or manipulated.
Right.
Kate feels like she is evil. Plus, my fear of Sam overweighs any hate I have towards him.
Right.
I definitely don't like him. But
he was likable in the beginning of Gen V too, though. So it's like he was one of my favorites because I like the mentally unstable people.
Yeah, they're always cooler to root for. But like a good metaphor would be like Kate is the evil dictator and Sam is the soldier following orders.
Right.
They're still both doing horrible things, but one of them at least has potentially a path to being fixed.
Right.
While the other ones,
Kate, you just want to see just destroyed by someone.
Preferably Marie or now preferably Kimiko.
Jordan, even like.
We didn't get to hear what she said to Frenchie, but it's clearly like walk with us to come with us.
Right.
And then Kimiko was held back by Sam, and she was yelling no. And Kimiko is extremely strong, and Sam wasn't even flinching. Like he's so scary.
He is. He's brutal. Like he's arguably stronger. He's stronger than Golden Boy. I think Golden Boy is obviously had a unique set of skills.
Yeah.
Like he could, but yeah, he's up there for sure.
Yeah, he's so terrifying.
He's one of those where if Homelander lasered him, he probably wouldn't die. But if Homelander lasered Kate probably would die.
Yeah, for sure. Which Marie got lasered by Homelander and didn't die.
Yeah, right.
Marie was somebody we did not see. We did not see Stan Edgar. We did not see Huey's mom. We did not. There was somebody else that I was hoping we'd see, but we did not see. Well, what's her name from the CIA is dead. Grace.
Yeah, yep, Grace Mallory.
Ryan killed her.
Right.
So, and Ryan now knows the truth about Homelander. However, we don't know where Ryan went.
Right.
Because he didn't go back to Vought Tower. And this is who I was thinking of. The last person we did not see where they went, besides A-Train. We didn't see a second of A-Train this episode. Ashley. After she took V, we have no idea where she went.
Yeah, she was going all like leader like her head was all like bubbling and growing kind of, it looked like.
Yep.
So very much like Samuel Stearns as the leader in like the Incredible Hulk 2008.
Right. So the question is she going to be like, is she going to have telekinetic powers?
Yeah.
Because that automatically makes her like anything ESP, telekinetics, mind, anything with mind control or anything automatically makes you powerful.
Right.
So
we don't know where A-Train is. So now it's like basically you got Starlight. My assumption is that Starlight is probably going to seek out A-Train. She really has nobody else. So that, I mean, that's my assumption is that you're going to get A-Train back. And maybe there is this little, the boys thing. I don't know.
And one person we did see, though, was Sage.
We did see Sage. Sage came back. It was all part of the plan. I knew something along the lines of like she's too smart to like have her not be part of the plan.
Right now she said ready for phase 2, whatever that means.
Right.
Considering her reasoning, she said, was just to see if she could.
Right.
Is she really like? Why would she have a phase 2 if this was just to see if she could?
Right.
And then we completely skipped over the credit scene.
Yeah.
Homelander is somebody we know where he went. He's currently looking at Soldier Boy.
Yeah.
Which one of our comments on our last video was regarding Soldier Boy.
Sure.
Was one of the reasons the Soldier Boy carried previous seasons, according to the commenter. So that was why this season was not very good.
I disagree.
Yeah, we had one comment that was this season wasn't good, and another comment saying this was a good season.
Yeah, I mean, you know, like they have those. There's like that flaming horse. There's a flaming horse, and it's split up into 4s, and then the last one, usually like the last season or the head of the horse is like this really poorly drawn horse head.
Yeah,
and it's like this is the show. It's like, well, the Boys has just been this flaming horse the entire time, so it's.
I feel like if you think this season was bad or even the worst one yet, I'm kind of surprised. Like, no matter who says it, like, you needed the previous seasons to understand the depth of this. So we've mentioned this before. It can't stand on its own without previous products, which instantly makes it like it might not be as good.
Sure.
However, when you add the other things to it, all the other information we've had in the previous 3 seasons, and you add it to that, this season has been like a tremendous build, and the first 3 seasons built this foundation and framed this house, and now this season I feel like put together awesome exterior to it, and the final season is just going to be the finishing touches.
Right. I mean, you've got this. You have all these different arcs. Right, and everyone's story has basically been a roller coaster since the first time. You had Starlight, which started at this like very much high, right? Like she got into the 7, everyone loves her, and now she's at like the lowest of lows. She's gone through the lowest of lows, and now she has hit another obstacle. And you have A-Train, which is kind of like the opposite. Like he's kind of gone through his own self stuff, and now he's like good. So it's like, and Homelander's kind of just been himself, but you introduce these, especially 2 new characters that both did their jobs very well in Firecracker and Sister Sage. Like, I don't know. I thought this season has been great. And I'm like, people want everyone to like win, and that's just not going to happen because like everyone at this point was like at the absolute bottom.
Yeah.
So.
Nope. It was kind of losses all the way around. And I don't know. I had a thought of where I was going. I kind of lost it. But like you said, not everybody can win, and really at this point, everybody feels lost. Like Starlight was, now she feels like she was cheated on, and her
right. And I think everyone was like, how could she be mad at Huey for that moment? And I was like, well, you have to think she's been gone, and I'm sure she feels upset that Huey didn't know like right away.
Sure.
But then he's like, I noticed these things about you like throughout this. It's not that he's like, I didn't know, but I did notice. Like I know, so
you know how
and then she came around. She came around too. So it was like she was upset in the moment. I thought that was
She said you're getting tested because I'm not catching any shifter STDs, shifter
syphilis. Yeah. So I think
that's
she had every
telling him
right
not
to be
only are we
upset
staying
in the
together,
moment.
but we're still going to be having sex.
Right. Yeah. I think she was okay to be upset in that moment too, because she's gone through
I
so
think she was
much.
totally justified. I think any normal person would be mad.
Right.
Like your significant other, whether they thought it was you or not, they straight up had sex with somebody else.
Right. That looks exactly like you and has all your memories.
So they could have acted exactly like you and been zero inkling of not being you.
Right.
So you know how fans always seem to think they know better.
Sure.
Like this happened, but this should have happened. Well, this is where
I think that's us when it comes to Marvel and post credit scenes. I think we are pretty genius in regards to that. But go ahead.
One of the things I've seen huge complaints about this season with the boys is there's like a huge gathering of people saying Starlight has been like made fun of too much. She seems weak. She always gets her ass beat. She got to beat up her sexual assault, the person who assaulted her. That was like a win. But up until the very end where she was able to fly away, season 1, 2, and 3, she's kind of been made a joke. Victoria Newman talked her down. Homelander talked her down.
Sure.
She's the only one who's escaped, which means, besides Butcher's by himself, but he's not a good guy anymore.
Right.
He's never really been one, but that's another point. Starlight is going to be your main hero. Maybe Ryan will show up at some point and have to fight. Maybe Marie will, but Starlight will be the focus of the beginning of season 5 of the final season.
Right. I mean, it's
people
only
are going to get what they're asking for.
I mean,
we'll just see if people actually mean it.
Like, but then as soon like she's like knowing Starlight, she's not going to do it herself. She's going to need help. And so that's why I think she's going to seek out A-Train. But then people just hate to hate. So like you're going to get those people that are like, of course she went and got help. Like that. I mean, that's just like the way social media is.
So did you think she was going to solo Homelander, Sam, Kate, Magneto,
Deep Noir, like
you just think that she should be able to solo? Would that make a better story? Like, come on. We'll just see it. People keep demanding they want Starlight to seem powerful. She's going to be the focus. If people truly wanted that and their support is real, then they are going to love the beginning of next season because it's going to the first episode might be 100% her.
Yeah, I think what I hope that happens is I hope it's Starlight and a small group of people. I mean, A-Train is one of those. You could maybe Marie is part of that. Like, who knows? You don't know what happens in Gen V, but then it's going to be like that versus like the 7, maybe. Like it's going to be that small group versus 7, and I hope the Butcher and Ryan thing kind of stays separate for a little bit.
Yeah.
And then, or at least maybe not that Starlight and the small group versus the 7, but at least them trying to get the boys back.
I don't know if this makes me heartless. It might be because, whatever.
Sure.
I'm at the point where I don't care if Butcher and Ryan get closure. I don't care if Butcher gets killed in the final season and this is how his story ends.
Sure.
I think he's come full circle and he's still never really been somebody to root for.
Do you want to know how the comics end?
Sure.
So Homelander dies. off screen, not even in the panel.
I thought he was going to get shot by the virus sniper, to be honest.
He gets killed off panel by Black Noir. Black Noir is in the comics a clone of Homelander. Like they clone Homelander, and that's who Black Noir is. So Black Noir is as strong as Homelander in the comics.
Okay.
Black Noir kills Homelander off screen, and then Butcher like baits Black Noir to the White House lawn, where Butcher kills Black Noir, and that's kind of like how it ends. Now, I don't think
they're doing that.
Going that, but they did set it up for a possible fight on the White House lawn, and I think that would be like maybe the Butcher versus Homelander, or maybe Ryan. maybe Ryan is the one that kills Homelander, and then Butcher has to kill Ryan. I don't know, something along. Maybe that's kind of what my initial thought is that maybe Ryan takes that Black Noir storyline kind of, and that's kind of what I'm thinking. But
okay, I don't think because Black Noir, he can fly, but he does like nothing else has been shown in terms of what he can do.
Right.
They make it seem like he wouldn't be, and he's clearly not a clone.
Right. Yeah. What?
But if you go with like the clone aspect, then it would be Ryan in this version.
Sure.
I really hope they don't go that way, because that sounds like a terrible ending.
Right. Well, Homelander dying off screen doesn't, like, that would not fly for what happens.
It wouldn't fly for any sort of visual representation. Like, I'm surprised that flew in a comic.
Right.
That's a terrible
idea.
Yeah,
it's weird, because like especially like say The Walking Dead, like they hit a significant point, issue 100, and they made a very graphic like fan killing, you know what I mean? So,
side note, did you see what the creator of Walking Dead said about Glenn's death?
No.
That
the showrunner, like Scott Gimple?
Yeah, that was so far that's his biggest regret, is they should, even if they eventually killed Glenn, that's not how or when they should have.
Well, I mean that guy ruined the entire Walking Dead that season. Not only the Glenn thing, which I mean the Glenn thing, it happened in the comics. So if they wanted to stay true to it, they could have.
He said they went overboard. He said they could have killed him, but it didn't have to be that way.
It took away from Abraham. Like it's fine if you change that up, but then they also killed Carl that season, which was also a massive mistake. So it's just so overboard. Or maybe it wasn't that season, but they killed Carl very shortly after that, which was ridiculous.
When I tried to pick Walking Dead back up, I stopped after Carl's death.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's just so. Like, it's okay to change things up, and they do that in, say, like, Marvel right now. Like,
and
MCU makes minor changes, and The Boys, right? Like, they make these little changes, like, which is fine, but, like, I don't know. You got to have some, like, nobility. Not nobility, that's the bad word, but, like, you got to stay true to some things.
Movies tend to do, like, screen tests, where they show people here's what we're thinking we want to do, and then they gauge, like, the reaction of fans.
Sure.
And then a lot of the times when things don't go well, then they go like, well, this did well in screen test. We thought it was going to do well.
Right.
And they kind of use the screen test as like a fallback scapegoat.
Sure.
I feel like shows could probably start doing better at screen tests. It's just in the age of the internet, you get so many leaks like, oh, this is where they're like, you can't trust people.
Right.
But that's really what they need, is honest opinions from non-biased fans and extremist fans.
Sure.
Like The Boys could definitely benefit from it, but I think they've done a really good job overall. Like, I don't know. I was slightly confused by the Firecracker storyline. Like, when they made her sick, I don't get why they focused on her being sick when she's just fine now.
Yeah, she's taking a bunch of meds, and then, like, at the end, she didn't look like she was going through hell. Like,
yeah, was it supposed to be like was that supposed to be like a red herring, making us think that she had the virus?
Yeah, I have no idea.
I
I
just
mean, that doesn't make sense either because she's not that like her power set is very weak.
right, and like we don't really care about her as fans.
Right.
So
She
why
was
do we
there
feel
to.
bad for her if she gets put at the end of the table?
She was brought in by Sage to piss off Annie. Like she was brought in, so like she knew Sage knew enough about her, maybe even the old pageantries and stuff, which Sage probably knew, and used that to get to Starlight, and it worked. So like that's why she's there, and now she has this like fan base through Vought and through the Seven and Truth Bomb or whatever the hell she has. So, but she's one of those characters you don't necessarily care for, just like
Yeah.
the Deep, just like Black Noir. Like they don't have any like connection to them really.
Yeah, they're very disposable as main characters or
Right.
supporting characters. Like they focus on the Deep when he was like he had that like moment where he was thinking about the octopus, and
Right.
I like those are such moments where it's like you're not gonna make us care.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it almost feels like we don't need to see this moment.
Sure.
So like focusing on her being sick, I was like, this is either a red herring about the virus or this is completely unnecessary.
Right. Just some random thing.
Yeah, but
It's just
obviously
kind of maybe it was just for the humor of Homelander being like scoop down,
further.
like, and then like keep. Yeah. I mean, I think Taylor even chuckled a bit when he was like, "Keep going," like. Yeah, so.
But I mean, I think they did a good job of ending the season. A good job of setting up the next season, but not a great job of ending this season. It just
Sure.
feels like more of a continuation, which is totally fine. Nothing bad
Right.
about that at all.
Yeah.
And I don't think it
You
was a
kind of
bad
have
season at
to
all,
too. You kind of have to too. I mean,
especially
like
now
you
that we
can't
know it's the final
completely.
season.
Yeah, you can't completely end every storyline. You know what I mean? So like they finished the Newman storyline's done and over with
Yep.
now. Like, um, so that's
Solidifying Homelander as the primary bad soup.
the goat. Like,
I really hope when they do kill off Homelander that it's extremely satisfying.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. I mean,
like
you got Soldier Boy. Like, Soldier Boy could do it probably.
and I don't now that
Ryan,
they showed Soldier Boy, how are they gonna? What are they gonna do with him?
yeah. Because Homelander knows now because he had all the information from the CIA now because he's the president basically. So
Yeah, I just like when they bring Soldier Boy back because they're clearly going to.
right,
What's the storyline with him? Because like we've
right,
talked about last episode, Soldier Boy doesn't care about anything
yeah, yeah. So how do you make him back into the picture?
besides selling him on basically being a dictator. Like he clearly would be okay with Supes being in power and him just having freedom to do whatever and whatever he
Whatever.
wants whenever he wants.
Right. Yeah.
I feel like that's the only angle Soldier Boy cares about.
Right.
So
Right.
maybe that's where they go with it. I don't know. I don't know. Overall, this season, I'd probably give it like the first number that just jumped to my head was 8.3. So I'd
Sure.
probably give it like an 8 out of 10.
Sure. I think that's very fair.
I think the first season is the closest you can get to a 10 out of 10 of most
Yeah.
shows.
She ropes you in right off the rip.
Yeah, I think first season of The Boys might be a 10 out of 10. I think second season might be like close to this one, like 8 out of 10. And then in my
Yeah.
opinion, the third
3 was
season was
really
like a 6.
really that's like the one with Soldier Boy and all that.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
feel like that one's awesome.
I know it's where I differ because season
That's
3
the
of The
best.
Boys and season 1 of Gen V is where The Boys universe started to lose me.
Oh, sure. Okay.
I know that that's not how most people feel. So I get that I might be wrong in my opinion, but
Yeah, the highest rated Boys episode collectively is the finale of season 3. Hero Gasm
yeah,
was
yep.
the
I can see it. I just it wasn't for me, I guess. But
sure.
I tend to like story based shows. I know it's less action and stuff like Hero Gasm, but I think a season like this season 4, makes you feel and think a lot more than like a season
Sure.
3. Season 3 is kind of like a Marvel show where they're going to slap you with some action and tell you how to feel and tell you what to think, and a lot of
Sure.
people feel good about that. It's like a laugh track. So, I mean, it doesn't make it bad.
Right.
It's just not for me. So, I still liked it. I'd still give it like a 6 or 7, but I think season 2 and 4 would be better for me, and then season 1 is just
I'd say 1 and 3, where I like the whole Soldier Boy storyline, and like the essentially like that was their like best shot at Homelander, and like they went through all that with them, and they had to like go through Soldier Boy's old team. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like they
Yep,
had
I
to
liked
go
that,
through it all
but I
too.
never once felt. I know it's weird. I never once felt threatened by Soldier Boy. Nothing about him to me felt threatening. Besides, like his explosions seemed powerful, but not
Yeah.
once did I go, he's not gonna actually be able to kill Homelander. He could hit him with all he's got, and I bet Homelander lives.
Yeah.
As opposed to, the virus makes it feel like it's an actual threat.
Sure.
Soldier Boy just never once, he felt like a threat to the boys, but never once felt like an actual threat to the goal or the mission.
Sure.
I know people are gonna be mad, but I can't help it. It's not for me. What would you give it this season?
I like the 8. I don't think I'd give any season under an 8. I mean, yeah, the first one from the beginning gets you like it just kind of splatters
I
you
felt that
right
way
off
about
the bat.
Walking Dead too. Walking Dead
Yeah.
season
Well,
1 might be
yeah.
one of the best
Yeah.
arcs I've ever had too.
Yeah, the one I remember we watched it, and it was like 2 in the morning, and when we finished it, and you're like, we got to go get the second season.
Yeah,
We got to go.
yeah, dude.
Yeah.
It was that good. And The Boys, because I was behind, I didn't
Right.
watch The Boys until season 3 was already completed.
Right.
Gen V had already been finished before I started watching The Boys.
Sure.
So when I finished season 1, I was ready to hop into season 2.
You're right. Right.
The same thing with Walking Dead. We didn't start till a couple seasons already had been in, and we had the ability to just run it through.
Yeah, I think Gen V would probably be my like lowest rated The Boys product. But also I know it's a spinoff, and spinoff usually it's tough to capture that same magic.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it is you have to kind of find find the way to like it because it's part of that universe, and that's kind of what makes it entertaining.
The hard part about
too.
like a
So,
spinoff with the Gen V is it feels like a season 3.5 more than it feels like season 1 of a new show.
right.
It feels
Which is,
like
I
season
guess, which is
3.5.
kind of what they were going for. You know, like they were kind of going for the fact that like the boys would go into Gen V, and then Gen V would go into the boys, and then the boys would go into Gen V again. So
Right. Which is
in
why
regards,
Gen V kind of had like the story just like this season 4
right,
of The Boys. It didn't really have, it was
right.
more foundation, more building.
And because the boys is ending next season, but we don't know what Gen V is going to do, I'm okay with you having to watch Gen V to know who Sam and Kate are. Like it's like you're getting arguably 7 products of a show over 5 seasons, over like 5 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, or not necessarily 5 years, but like I'm fine with it. I'm fine with that too.
Same here. I don't know. Next season's gonna be great. The creators, like you said, can't really give any of the seasons less than an 8 because they've done such a good job making this show.
Right.
I don't think expectations should be anything lower than that.
Yeah. I
And
mean,
I think they're gonna kill it.
if you say you got 5 seasons of a show and they were all 8 and 8 out of 10 at least at the minimum, then I mean that's a hell of a show, and I think that's what they're leaning towards, and that's a insane accomplishment too. So good job, Eric Kripke, for running this whole thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And the rest of the creators, but definitely
Right.
Eric Kripke.
Yeah.
Let us know. Did you like this show? Did you like this season? What are your expectations for Gen V season 2 or also the finale, the final season. We got a couple comments last time talking about it, and they were split great versus bad. So would love to hear other people's opinions. Recently got somebody saying they found us via Twitter, so check us out on Twitter. Make sure you follow. And again, Twitter formerly known as X. And make sure you all continue looking great today. G.
Woo!
Don't wanna sleep in, cause I got something to prove. I gotta take what I hate and finally make a move. I think of you and all the shit you don't do. Well, I'ma make hella sure that I don't become you. Have no regrets, yeah, I'm tired of my chest. I'll never